everybody, welcome to Nintendo Public here on Bossman Network. I'm your host and Light Excited Eddie B. Joining me is the one, the only Bossman himself, Mr. Corey Derrick. Hello, good sir.
Hello. I am here. I'm ready to podcast, ready to cast on the pod.
Yes.
And cast.
And everybody. It is the gorgeous guy feature himself. The lovely and luxurious Mr. Greysun Morales. Hello, good sir. Welcome back.
Hi. You always have the best introductions for me, Ed. Thank you. I appreciate it. Happy to be here. It's been, I feel like it's been a little bit of time since I've been here last. I think last time I was on maybe was for like the Kirby, when Kirby came out or something.
Yeah.
But now there's a new Nintendo game.
Has it really been that long?
No.
Maybe there was a time, but the Sunbreak.
Sunbreak.
So it hasn't been that long.
Man, that's been
It's definitely in the summer.
I'd feel terrible if it's that long.
No.
But
yeah,
also,
as soon as I said it, I'm like, this doesn't sound right.
But also, Greysun is a full-time working man now. So
yes, hallelujah.
Congratulations,
Health insurance, y'all.
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
Yep.
It's been very many years since I've had health insurance through my main job, so it's very good news.
Yeah, health insurance is very nice. Let me tell you, it's someone who has to have it for 4 people.
Someone who is alive and a human.
Yes. As everybody know, me and Greysun had Chicago style hot dog lunch get together like 2 weeks ago.
We did.
So
Tater tots too.
Tater tots. I've never thought of having hot dogs with tater tots. I always had it with fries or chips with hot dogs.
It's definitely, it's an option. I just feel like most people don't have the option of getting tater tots. You just like fries are just like the default.
Oh man, tater tots are way better than fries.
They are.
Just gonna throw that out there.
But
superior.
I would love to. Normally eat tater tots like in the morning for breakfast.
What?
Because
I
know because I know it's different. I know it's different than hash browns.
Right.
But there's something about it in the morning that I'm just like, ooh, it tastes like a snack to me in the morning. It gets me going.
I feel like it's not really like a breakfast food.
Well,
tater tots.
Yeah.
I feel like tater tots are more, you're supposed to like eat them with like a burger or something.
Yeah, but I get more tater tots than I get the hash brown. Like McDonald's, you get that one big hash brown. If you go to like Burger King, you get like 6 of them. Or if you go to Dunkin' Donuts, you get like
Burger
5 of them. And it's just like, I need more.
Yeah, but if you get them at Burger King, you might get that hidden onion ring that's probably been in that tray for 3 days.
That is true.
By the way,
you can just order like 2 orders of onion rings. I mean, of tater tots. It doesn't have to be just.
Yeah.
There's no limit, Ed.
By the way, I don't think there are onions in Burger King's onion rings. Just gonna throw that out there. I think the breading just has onion flavor in it, which is
they're just like Funyuns, basically. Deep fried Funyuns.
It's onions in there because when I eat it, there's a long onion that's falling out and everything. But that's very rare that I get onion rings. Now Burger King's French toast sticks, the anointings right there, the top tier anointings right there.
I believe you.
Well, Corey, do you actually get breakfast food sometimes, or
I
have
love
you ever
breakfast.
had?
Breakfast food is like the best. I had breakfast for dinner last night. That's how much I like breakfast. So, I mean, I like a good like McDonald's sausage McMuffin with egg, and you put a little bit of grape jelly on that thing. Delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Their hash browns too. Look, I haven't had it in a while because I'm trying to not be fat, even though after Snack Tendo today, you'll be like, well, no wonder why you're fat, but it's okay. But if I had enough money to go to McDonald's every morning and had the metabolism of, I don't know, Greysun, I would be going there every day because McDonald's breakfast is the best.
I'm a fan of the McGriddle.
Yeah. I normally get like 2 hash browns, because I get the egg, ham, and cheese, and then I'll add an additional hash brown to it. And then the first thing that goes is the hash brown because I know if I eat one hash brown, I'm gonna need another.
It's fair. It's fair.
Right. So, but Grayson, how was your weekend? We haven't seen you in a while. What you been up to?
I honestly can't remember what I did this past weekend. I think Saturday, me and my boyfriend, we kind of like wanted to get out the house, so we decided to kind of go on a like an urban hike sort of thing. Where we just like we're gonna go to this one neighborhood that we haven't been to in a while, but we're gonna walk there. So it was like an hour and a half walk. But on the way there, we kind of like stopped at a couple places, went like shopping and had coffee and stuff. So it was nice. But we took an Uber back home because we're exhausted and sweaty and tired. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, there's nothing like momentous. I've been pretty much staying at home. It's been pretty busy the past few weeks with Splatoon and stuff. So I've been kind of just playing a lot of Splatoon at home and yeah, just doing my usual stuff, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Corey, how was your weekend?
It was fine except for between the hours of 1 and 4:30 on Sunday, but you know, we don't want to talk about that. So on Saturday, what did we do Saturday? We went somewhere on Saturday, but I forget. Oh, we went to Ed, I know how you like the stupid redneck voice I do. Well, I went to a whole like we went to this thing called Yankee Peddler, which is like this where everybody dresses up in old-timey colonial outfits and like they have these shacks that they sell like kettle corn and beer and all this other crap out of, you know, like it's like a Renaissance fair for rednecks, we'll say.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, it was fun. It was nice. It was nice to get outside, and my daughter got to ride a horse, and she got her face painted, and I got some fresh brewed root beer because I like root beer, and it was worth every penny.
Is it alcoholic root beer or
no?
Just
It's just regular root beer out of a barrel. Just like they brew it and then they bring it, and it was delicious.
That's cool.
And then Sunday, my dad came over and we got a bunch of pizza and wings and watched the Browns lose to the Jets. So,
okay.
Yeah, so that was my weekend. I played a lot of Switch though this weekend, so I'm excited to actually talk about what I've been playing because I didn't even touch Destiny this week. Everybody, shocker! I know.
Wow.
But
All right.
Wow.
Well, for me, I had to actually go in and work Saturday, Sunday. There was a big emergency. One of our manager's daughters had to go to the hospital, and it was a serious case. So.
Ed, you're muted.
I don't know what just happened.
Ed's muted. Can you hear me, Grayson?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Grayson muted me for some.
I did it. Somehow I did it by accident. My mouse just like.
Man, that was a good call, Grayson. We should have left him.
I'm so sorry.
Boo.
For some reason, I can't see your video right now. So I was like, "What's going on?"
Oh.
I see your video.
Okay,
Ed.
I see it. I see it now.
Okay, great.
That was weird. Okay, continue. I'm sorry. I did not mean to mute you while you were telling us about your weekend.
But I did that. Me, Celeste, and Shane did talk the walk. We finally talked about Life is Strange, and had a very good discussion about that game. And we are going to be talking about Before the Storm, which is the DLC for Life is Strange. And I kind of feel like Life is Strange is a good walking sim that people, I feel like, need to play. And I feel like it has this kind of heavy rain feel to it because of the something that happens closer to the end. But man, I don't understand why some games want to drag the ending longer than it needs to be. Trust me, I get on Sony about this a lot. Stuff that should end, they like to drag for another 5 hours. That is unnecessary. Wow. Nintendo does it too, so I'm not gonna say that Nintendo doesn't do it. But there are some games that be like, okay, Nintendo, you're taking us to too many heights. You need to end it at this point. We got the conclusion, end it. So but other than that, getting ready to go officially go back to work, I should say. And then getting ready to be singing at a Jewish church in October for, I believe it's their New Year's, uh, from their calendar. So we're about to go celebrate that in October. Um, and I'm excited. I don't know what we're singing until I get there Saturday. My friend hasn't emailed me none of the songs, so I'm just like, okay, I guess I'll find out Saturday what I'll be singing. So,
Is that going to be like traditional, like Jewish music?
um, from one portion it is, and then everything else is kind of like uh non-denominational, like praise and worship or gospel songs.
Okay.
So stuff like Israel or William McDowell. I know people don't. I know you guys don't know that, but it has this kind of suburban worship, but sung by urban voices, I should
Gotcha.
say.
That's cool.
So, um, yeah, so we're going to be doing that like this weekend for the next three. It's going to be I think the next 3 Saturdays, and then that Sunday, I think that following Sunday, we'll be singing at the church and everything. So I got to actually go get my black, uh, and everybody will see that outfit because I'm going to be posting it on my Twitter to be like, got to make sure the haircut is bald, got to make sure the black is looking nice. Hopefully I'm under some light so people can see me. Because sometimes when I'm far way back and I'm in black, people can't see me. Be like, who the heck is that? So I got to be visible, I should say. But Corey, we got some Patreon shout outs to do. So let's shout them out.
Yeah, I'm totally prepared for that. I was not filling out editing notes on Discord just now. If you want to support us directly, you can head on over to Patreon, patreon.com/BossRoastNetwork, a subscription-based service where you can support your favorite creators directly. We offer 2 tiers, the $1 early access tier alongside the $5 Patreon producer tier. What does that mean? Patreon producer means you get early access plus your name shouted out on this segment of this show, among others. So without further ado, our Patreon producers for this episode of Nintendo Power Block are loading. Maybe.
I love them.
I know. Great supporter. They're around all the time. Adriel Munger, Celeste Roberts, my wife, Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, Rebecca Jewell, and Prince Unsmooth Toes. I want to thank all of our Patreon producers. I want to thank all of our patrons, and I want to thank all of our free listeners. Remember, all of our content remains free. If you support us, you get a few perks. Also, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star rating or review. If you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, all those YouTube terms that are annoying to my ears, but have to say because we are on YouTube. So, yeah.
All right. And do we have any housekeeping?
I don't know, Ed. Gosh, you're asking an awful lot of me today. I don't think so. I know the episode of Expansion Pass that went up on free feeds on Sunday was pretty out of date, we'll say, because the direct happened and everything we talked about was about what would happen if Wind Waker and Twilight Princess were announced. So check that out.
It's still a great discussion.
I know, but it's fine. I thought about that as soon as the direct was announced. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be bad. But no, I have new theories about those games now, but we'll talk about that later.
Yes, and everybody also check out our direct recap with me, Corey, and Stephanie. It's available. You can hear our thoughts on what we thought about the show and some thoughts about Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah, that's great. Great direct. I loved it, except we did not get Twilight Princess or Wind Waker, but it's okay. Someday.
It's fine.
I now have a new theory that we're gonna get a HD GameCube line of games that they're gonna sell for $60 a piece.
Wouldn't be surprised.
I know. Well,
Still Metroid in there.
I know. I mean,
all those rumors come true.
Yeah, the rumors of the Metroid Prime games being remastered, Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. They already did Sunshine. All you got to do is throw Fire Emblem and
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario, and let's wing it and say Donkey Konga and give us some wireless bongos, okay?
That is such a random assortment of GameCube games.
And shoot, don't you know that people will go back with Breath of the Wild trying to beat that game with Donkey Konga?
I'm sure somebody on PC already has.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody beat it with a Guitar Hero guitar. I'm sure somebody wired bananas to a potato and did it.
Yeah.
How are people able to do that?
They're a lot smarter and more interesting than us, okay? That's why their YouTube videos have millions of views and our last one had like 40. Okay?
Oh, wow. Just, wow. Well, everybody, it's time for Snacktendo! Corey, what have you been snacking on?
Oh my gosh, Ed, let me tell you about the pizza I ate this weekend, okay? So, it wasn't anything special. It was Domino's pizza and wings from Mr. G's, but I
was wondering about the wings.
Yeah, I had just pepperoni pizza because that's all I ever eat because I'm boring. And then we got two hot wings of course. We got hot wings and just demolished them. And yeah, it was good. And there's still pizza left over in the fridge, which I might eat after this podcast. So it's probably bad by now, but it's fine.
Still pizza.
Yeah. By the way, Greysun found a link and sent it to us to the Breath of the Wild being beaten with bongos from Donkey Kong.
I knew it happened. Yeah. I feel like I wrote about it too back then.
Oh well, there's also the GameCube adapter for the Switch. Like you could just plug the bongos.
Oh yeah, they actually just work probably natively on Switch. Like you just plug it in.
Yeah. Don't like that. I couldn't even beat it with a normal controller, so I did, but it was actually, to be honest, no spoilers, I guess, for Breath of the Wild, but the final boss was pretty easy, but that's... Anyways, that was my...
A whole other topic.
Yeah. Anyways, Ed.
Well, Grayson, what have you been snacking on?
Ooh, let's see. I've been thinking about it for a few hours, and I wasn't really sure what to say. I just eat a lot of like snacky type stuff, but I have been cooking. So we recently subscribed to like those like meal delivery kits sort of thing. Like I forget what they're all called now, but we got one called Home Chef, and so far it's been pretty good. We've had like a few meals. I get like a box every week, and it has like enough food to make 3 meals from, so it's really nice. So I don't have to like go grocery shopping all the time, and I don't have to worry about what to cook. Come like to cook in the relationship, so I have to make sure my partner's fed every night pretty much. But I made these stuffed poblano peppers the other night, and they were stuffed with ground turkey that's with like corn and bell peppers and stuff, and it's pretty much seasoned like taco seasoning, sort of like a Mexican inspired like flavors. So I had that like stuffed inside these poblano peppers with like this Chipotle cream cheese, not Chipotle, what's it called? Sofrito cream cheese sauce, which is like a nice seasoned, creamy sauce, and it was really good. The only thing is like poblano peppers are kind of like they're not all spicy, but most of them are pretty hot, and we didn't really find ourselves liking eating the actual pepper itself. We kind of like ate the filling and sort of like ate around it. But it was still really good, and I never made it before, so I was happy with how they came out for the cooking for the first time. I don't know. Besides that, I don't know. I've been obsessed with like boba the past week or two. I don't know why. Like just milk tea. think drinking that a lot, like every night. Whenever I have dinner, I always want to have something sweet afterwards lately. And I usually don't have anything in the house that's sweet. So we always have to walk out and get something, or I have to Uber Eats some milk tea or something, or smoothie or a shake. But yeah, that's pretty much been me. I don't know. There's like not really any other snacky stuff that I've been worth talking about. So yeah.
All right. Well, for me, I had the garlic guajillo steak from Chipotle. It's a new kind of meat that they're doing. It says it's tender custom steak seasoned and grilled to liken the flavors of garlic and guajillo peppers. I'm probably saying it wrong, but I've never heard of it. So
yeah, that sounds like you're making words up now, Ed. This is fake.
Guajillo.
Guajillo? Yeah. That sounds right.
Guajillo.
Yes.
Yeah. You pass.
Okay.
A for effort.
Yes. So it was good. It's not bad. Sometimes I think some of the meat at Chipotle, when they say they got the season and this flavor in the meat, sometimes you can't taste it. Because I had a burrito bowl. And I think now I probably got to get it, but I think I got to get some of their burrito bowls without the sauce in it.
Yeah, I think it's too much stuff in one bowl. That's my issue with Chipotle sometimes, where it's like a little bit too much. Or it's probably my fault, right? Where I'm putting every single thing, and I'm like, this is a little too much right now.
Right, because I think if I get it again, I'm gonna try the steak. I think I'm gonna have the fajita fillings and cheese, and that's it. So I can give more, even though it's gonna be a little bit dry. I need something that's going to help me taste the flavor, because I'm just like, I cannot taste this flavor. I can't taste the garlic or the guajillo peppers. So
that's a shame. I love garlic. Yeah. So if something's garlic, I want like 20 cloves of garlic, like I cooked at that meat, you know? Actually, I was looking up this press release about them introducing the steak like last week. And apparently this was like the first restaurant to unveil a new menu item in the metaverse, because apparently there's like a Chipotle game in Roblox. And they,
oh wow.
And they added the steak item in the menu in the game. So, yeah, I was reading this and saw pictures of like a burrito builder game. I'm like, what is this? So I was very confused.
Yes, because
sorry, I just have to share that.
When I want to build a burrito, I expect not to eat it when I'm done with it.
Yeah. Plus, we got tons of Halloween candy in, but I haven't eaten none of the Halloween candy yet. So, nothing weird this year. Or nothing new this year. So there's nothing I could report on. The Mountain Dew mystery or the Voodoo Mountain Dew is back, and for some unknown reason, I'm tasting a lot of lime. Normally, it would taste like Skittles, but it's not tasting sweet this time. It tastes really like they just do a bunch of lime juice and cover up with some white dye with it. I'm just like, I don't taste the Skittles no more. Like, it doesn't have a sweetness to it. So this year's kind of just like I know it really tastes like they changed the flavor of it, and just like, no, this is not working. What happened to Mountain Dew? Their flavors haven't been good lately. Like, the Flamin' Hot one wasn't good. This one isn't good. The Spark Lemonade Mountain Dew, not good.
Look, man, I lost interest in Mountain Dew when the orange stuff came out. Okay.
Oh, the voltage.
Yeah. So, no, is that what it was called? I don't know. I don't know, man. Like, I thought, okay, 3 flavors of Mountain Dew, that's a lot. And now there's like 40, and I'm like,
Yeah, they can't all be good.
Yeah.
Right. It's like,
yeah. There's gonna be some misses. Okay.
I know their grape flavor Mountain Dew was really good, but like, you gotta find stores that carry it. They don't carry it around in our area no more. And I'm like, this is the good one, because that grape Mountain Dew taste is really good for me. And I didn't see a Halo one or a Call of Duty one this year. Yeah.
Someone went with Rockstar this year, I think. I'm not sure who it was, but I know somebody went with Rockstar this year.
Yeah. I had some fudge cakes from Little Debbie's and some TMNT ice cream.
Oh. Yes.
Yeah, I had the caramel cookie bite one, and then this vanilla chocolate fudge with brownie chips in it. And I was just like, ooh, this is so good. I knew it was going to jack up my stomach in the morning, but
oh no,
it was just so delicious.
Yeah, that is like ice cream times 3 because it's like way more than just ice cream, you know.
Yeah, but that was what I have been snacking on, and of course, Domino's. Got a supreme pizza and the barbecue chicken bites. I got with bacon. So with that, everybody, we're gonna get into Playing with Power now. But I'm Greysun. He's our special guest.
Splatoon?
Yes, because you have been playing Splatoon 3. I've been playing some of it. Corey experienced some of it.
I shot some stuff. It was more Splatoon.
But Greysun, you've been playing a lot of Splatoon 3, so kind of break it down, your reaction to the game.
Yeah, so I think I checked today, I have like 40 hours so far. And most of that is probably me, like, because I did do the story mode and I have completed like every single level and I got all the collectibles and I was writing guides for these. So there was a lot of time where my screen of my Switch was kind of just idle while I was like writing stuff and getting screenshots and all that jazz. So I probably have like a solid, I want to say 30 hours, maybe 35. And yeah, I mean, even though I was playing a lot of Splatoon 2 leading up to Splatoon 3, I am utterly like obsessed. And my partner is too. He bought Splatoon as well, hoping to get into it. He's been playing a lot too. It's just Splatoon, right? But it's just, you know, just up to the perfect amount, like increased how can I say this? Like it's just I think it does just enough, right? It's not like a full blown. I don't think it's worth the number 3, like a full blown sequel. I think we're in a similar situation where like 1 to 2 was almost like the same game in some sense. But I think for this one, it's like they do a little bit more to make it worth it. Like I love the story mode. Like the levels are super creative and fun, and they really play around with your expectations and make you learn new weapons and all this stuff. And I feel like Turf Wars in general is just like so much faster and more reactive, and like there's a lot more skill involved in it. Because I notice it a lot just from going directly from 2 to 3. I haven't had a lot of time. I haven't had a break, right? So like I noticed the differences immediately. It's so much faster. Like for some reason, Splatoon 3 feels like such a hectic, chaotic mess compared to Splatoon 2. Like going back, it felt super slow. Because I remember I played Splatoon 3, the Splatfest, like the beta test basically that they had. And then I had to go back to Splatoon 2 until Splatoon 3 came out. I'm like, this feels so slow and like weirdly like devoid of certain things. And like the specials and stuff they've added in Splatoon 3 are so much fun. And I really like using all of them. What else is there? I mean, it's just really good. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think it's a fantastic game. Like if anyone hasn't played Splatoon 1 or 2, I think this is like a must pick up, like a must play for the Nintendo Switch. Honestly, it's like one of Nintendo's best efforts. I think recently with online play, it's been a real improvement over 2, like being able to hop in with friends without any hassle or issues. We'll see how Splatfests are, but so far, like I'll hop online, see that my friends are there, and I'll be able to jump into their next match without any issues. And then we can keep playing, and whoever's done can just hop off, and it's really seamless. And I think they really took a lot of lessons that they learned from 2 into this one. You can really tell they're like listening to the audience, you know, and like making those changes.
I think Ed, was it you and I that were talking about Nintendo's online stuff where like I think whatever comes after Switch, hopefully it's just like another Switch.
Yeah.
Because I don't really know where they go from here. But like I think that the next big step for them is to really conquer this online hurdle. And it seems like they kind of have in some games, like, you know, like you were saying, Splatoon, Greysun, and I think with games like Diablo and stuff like that being really popular, and Monster Hunter being popular on this console, like, I really think that's something they're going to have to consider. Is like, we really need to invest in online and online infrastructure that, you know, you can actually use, and I don't know, maybe revamp the store a little bit. And I think that's like their next major hurdle, is this online thing everywhere.
So when we was talking about it, we was just like, it would be good that if Microsoft could come in and help Nintendo with the online service, because Microsoft right now, they're top tier with their online service, because not only are they hardware, their software, and they know the infrastructure of online.
I mean,
so
I think Xbox Live is always going to be the best online experience, I feel like.
For sure, yeah.
PlayStation is close, right? I mean, but I don't think anything really compares to the way that Xbox does it, right? With like just being able to hop in easily to a party with your friends and see what's going on and play, you know, online is always seamless. And I don't know, I really like the Xbox experience, and if Nintendo can come halfway to that, like, I think it would be so much of a better experience, because I don't know, just like friend code still, really, you know, like that kind of thing. And, you know, like Splatoon 2, you had to use the phone app, right, to like join groups with friends and stuff. And it's like, all right, like, I don't know what you're doing, but this is not working. You should be able to do everything from the console.
Yeah, and it still isn't an improvement, but I still get a lot of disconnection issues, and I think that's something that's probably never going to change. Honestly, like, I don't think it's because like the servers right now or anything. It's just like, this is just how Nintendo is, and this is going to happen. Like, I'm going to get kicked from my friends groups like every couple of matches, but we're just kind of used to that stuff by now, which we shouldn't be. I hope they can really, you know, like you guys said, like, work on fixing all that with the next like system.
Yeah.
And I could understand like their security risks, how they're trying to protect people and everything. But I think Nintendo could see that a lot of adults are playing it. A lot of teens are playing it. Kids are playing Fortnite, or if they are playing Splatoon and stuff. I think it should be easier to be like, okay, this is your friends list, so this is who you want to meet and be able to join. You can join and everything. You don't need friend codes no more, because that hinders the experience and everything. If you're able to be like, oh, that's their Nintendo ID. Hey, can I be your friend? Can we join? It should be easy as that. Anything, because I feel like you make it easier for people to join you for your SNES games and N64 games online and everything. Why is it not easy to actually get that friend to be on part of your system, and you would be a part of their system and everything? It should really be easy. You know, a lot of people want Street Pass to come back and everything, because I'm just like, hey, you can meet people and y'all can exchange y'all friends, y'all online stuff, and be able to connect and be like, oh, that's cool. I met this person who came from Wisconsin while they was in Detroit. Hey, they like to play Ikaruga, or they like to play this Sega Genesis game. Hey, you know, let me join and everything. That would be more easier for them. And I think with talking with friends and everything, because, you know, you got the Bluetooth stuff on. Okay, great. Yeah, it took a long while, but you should be able now to get online functionality where we could start talking to each other over the system. If we're going to tag team in a Pokemon battle, we need to be able to strategize and not guess what each other of them are doing, instead of going through a third-party app for that to happen and everything. It should be able to be done on the system itself. It's not going to be too taxing or anything, because your next chips should be enough for that to happen, where you can talk on it and not have to worry about anything. You know, I think the new president of Nintendo is probably paying attention to be like, okay, we got to be able to meet the standards of what online is. Not focus on what Japan is doing, but focus on how is America and Europe, how they're connecting and talking and doing their online services and stuff. Because if you can get it unified everywhere, you're gonna have at least a decent online service that we will enjoy and everything. You already know that people want people want a better eShop experience. You know people want themes back for Switch and everything. You make money off the 3DS by doing themes because everybody was just like, what's the new themes of the week? Oh, it's payday. This is only $250. People are going to spend money for it. I've probably spent almost about $40 some on themes for my 3DS. So why not? And plus, you got some of the biggest first-party games that people want those themes from. Right now, if Splatoon 3 could have had not only people buying the game, but bam, I'll spend some Nintendo points for buying the game to get the theme on my Switch. There's ways that Nintendo could do this. So,
yeah,
that's my little side tangent.
I mean, look, it took them 5 years to get folders, right? I don't think we're getting themes anytime soon.
I know.
But the thing is like I never really used themes on anything except I had the Destiny theme on my PlayStation 4 for a long time, and then that. But like, I don't know. I don't think themes. For me personally, it's not like a priority want for me, you know. But my priority want is just games, I think, and you know, I mean, themes are nice and everything, but like, how long are you really staring at your home screen to be like, oh, look at my theme, I'm gonna watch my theme jumble around, you know? It's like, no, I have the dark theme on because it's easier on my eyes when I turn the system on, and I jump into Link's Awakening, and I'm good to go.
I think it's because of it being a handheld and
I know
that 3DS experience. It's that thing they got used to.
I know. I get why people want it. It's just like, you know,
it's just like if PS5 got themes today, I wouldn't like. I would download one and install it, but I'm not like, oh my god, I can't believe this is finally here. Like, it's like not that big a deal to me. It's like whatever. It's like a wallpaper.
Yeah.
Like,
I would love to have like the Pikmin start bringing out the cubes to install.
Oh my god,
stuff. They did that.
The 3DS download screen.
Yeah.
In the eShop. That kind of pissed me off. I don't know. Every time I remember that in my head, I remember taking just forever to download anything. Like, just download a demo or something.
Did you ever do the Wii to Wii U virtual console transfer?
Did I? I remember.
Where like.
That sounds terrible.
You literally had to like set the Wii, like you had to have them in close proximity or it wouldn't work. Like it was ridiculous. But like you had to. I had mine sitting next to each other, and like I had my gamepad charging, and you just saw like it was weird because I saw the Pikmin move from left to right.
3DS. Yeah.
No, this was from Wii to Wii U, and like they were carrying. Carrying the files over to the Wii U, but like the way my gamepad was sitting next to my Wii and my Wii U, it actually looked like the Pikmin were walking out of the Wii and into my Wii U.
That's funny.
By the way, I know we're talking about what we're playing, but what a huge miss to not have A, Street Pass, and B, Miiverse, or what was that?
I know.
What was the social media network that they started and took offline after like a year and a half? Miitomo? No.
Oh, Miitomo?
Yeah.
Was that what it was called?
Miitomo.
Wasn't it just an app though? Like a mobile?
Yeah, a phone app. But like, what a miss though. They could have had that on your Switch and you combined like Miiverse with Miitomo and like Street
Miiverse
Pass.
is awesome.
Oh, what a miss, man.
It's just so cool. Just a way for people to talk about what they're playing and stuff, and look out. Like I would love to read about Splatoon and see what people are posting and sharing. And
yeah,
so cool. Yeah,
that's kind of
cool idea.
Super Mario 3.
Go ahead, Ed.
When Super Mario 3D World came out, and you was able to show them all your stamps that you got. I really thought the step idea would be their next kind of this is my platinum achievement.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be their achievement system, and like you could just like every game had its own sticker book, and you got to fill it out. And like they started, like Super Mario 3D World had it, Twilight Princess had it, and there was another game that had it too. I think it was another Mario game, but like they all had sticker books, and I'm like, oh man, this is gonna be cool. They're finally doing achievements. This is finally gonna be their achievement. Nope.
And I think that would be so cool just to have that.
All I got was, oh, you started Splatoon 8 days ago. Thanks, guy.
You wouldn't even give me my hours until like 10 days later. I'm like, thanks.
I know. Also, I'm kind of mad because my Breath of the Wild hours didn't transfer over to my new Switch because I didn't do.
Oh, that sucks.
I didn't do the transfer the right way, so like nothing transferred over.
If I get an OLED, I'm gonna be very upset if all my hours are just like restart basically.
Who's this pro Splatoon player who's never played before?
I know. It's like Greysun played Splatoon 3 for the first time today. I'm like, no, I didn't.
I just beat the first boss of Splatoon 3 today.
Cool. They're really fun.
Very creative, very thought. I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then I love how this game intros after you beat the first boss. How the background looks with all that color, and then the black Splatoon 3, that lettering.
The title screen, I was like, really cool.
I kind of want a desktop of that. I'm like, oh, this is so amazing. It looks so good with it. But is that all you've been playing, Greysun?
It's been mostly Splatoon 3, but I guess I can talk about, I've been playing a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley, kind of random. I'm not really a big farming live sim sort of person, but I do have Xbox Game Pass, and I check out stuff that comes to the cloud, so I play on my laptop. So Dreamlight Valley came out, and we've been covering it at GameRant's, so I've been writing a lot of guides for that too. And for those that don't know, Dreamlight Valley is developed by Gameloft, and I think they mostly focus on mobile type games. But Dreamlight Valley is on consoles and PC, and it's coming to mobile, I think, next year. It's early access right now. It's free for Xbox Game Pass people, but to get early access for free, you have to, well, it's not free. To get early access, you have to pay for like this Founders Pack to get in, which is like $40 or something. But it's pretty much like an Animal Crossing meets like Stardew Valley, meets like The Sims sort of stuff, where you have this village and you have your own house, and you're trying to like basically move in a bunch of Disney characters to your village and become friends with them and do quests for them and make recipes and craft and find iron ore and all those, use your shovel when you're going fishing. And it's I've been like thinking about if I like it or not, if it's good or not. It's like, it's not bad, but it is very grindy. Like you are spending a lot of time collecting, like find 50 hardwood, and you're just like going to the same area, collecting wood, waiting for it to respawn again and doing it over and over and over. And it's just like a mix of talking to different people, completing their quests, finding the materials, upgrading to get different areas that you can explore. So you can like recruit Ariel, for example. You can like get Anna and Elsa, I think, and go to like a frozen area and find them there and bring them to town. And there's some other areas I haven't explored yet. It's like really gatekeepy, where like it's like you have to have like 1 million of this currency to get it. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm not going to get in here for a very long time. So it's kind of this like slowly progressing you, and it's really hard to get further without just playing a lot. That makes it sound like it's a bad game, but it's not. It's super fun. It's super cute. Like there's a lot of customization options. You can decorate your house and dress up your character and take selfies and all that stuff. But I would totally recommend it for people who like those kind of games. At least give it a try, since it's in early access. But yeah, Dreamlight Valley, I've been checking that out. Yeah, besides that, it's just that in Splatoon. So that's me.
Okay. Corey, what have you been playing with Power?
For me, it's been I played a lot of Link's Awakening this weekend. I'm trying to finish that before I move on to another game. I'm still trying to figure out what game that is. Part of me wants to play another Zelda game, but another part of me wants to like finish a bunch of other games that I started and never finished, so we'll see what happens. But so I've been following a guide to almost 100%, and I got to this point in a guide where like every time a new kind of chapter opens up in the guide, I check to make sure I have everything that I need before I move forward, because I'm trying to 100% it, and if I don't have everything, I'm gonna freak out. So I freaked out because I was missing one of the secret seashells, and I had to go back and find the one I was missing. And of course, the one I was missing was like, so I worked backwards from where I was at, because I was like, was one in the dungeon? Was one like somewhere that I missed? And so I found the one I was missing, and it was the third seashell that you could find in the game after one of the trading missions. So
those seashells are really hard to get, because it's like there's no way to tell which one you.
I know.
If you're looking at a guide, there's no way to tell which one you got. So you have to go through and
It kind of wasn't fun. But the one I was missing was like in the house where the chain chomp was, like the little chain chomp in the little like side house there, and you had to dig it up, and I didn't dig it up. I was like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? But
I love that game so much, especially the remake is incredible. Like
I know Link's Awakening. The Game Boy version was my first Zelda experience, and I
think mine too.
Yeah, and to have this remake be as good as it is, and as cute and colorful and just wonderful as it is. Granted, it's for better or for worse, it totally kept the 90s game design of the dungeons and stuff. They didn't change anything, but
the trading quest.
Yeah.
I think.
It's still like really charming and really fun, and I think people should give it a shot. It's not very long, unless you're trying to 100% it. I think I've put about 20 hours in it. I'm almost done. So, and that's 100%ing it. I think you could probably beat it in under 10 if you really tried hard. So, but I've also I also dabbled in the Cowabunga collection a little bit. Tournament Fighters is very bad. Pretty much the only games worth playing on there are like extensively are Turtles in Time, Hyperstone Heist, and the arcade games. Although the NES games are fun, but they're extremely difficult. And then the what was the other one?
Game Boy games.
The Game Boy games are not great. The second one is really stupid. Oh my gosh. Because like first of all, the turtle sprite in the Game Boy game is like the entire screen, like half the screen, like Metroid 2 levels of giant sprites on the screen. And then like when you jump, like your character just like is in the walking animation, but just jumps, and then if you kick in the air, you just see one of his legs just poke out. It's just like, what's going on here? But I
didn't know that I didn't know Tournament Fighters was just like I didn't know there was a traditional like Turtles fighting game.
Yeah, there's 3 of them actually. Yeah, there's the one. Yeah, well, there's the NES one, the NES Tournament Fighters, which is no, Turtles don't even have their weapons.
Garbage.
It's garbage. And then the Super Nintendo and the Genesis ones, even though they have the same box art, the same characters on the front, they're 2 totally different games and 2 totally different storylines.
That's wild.
With 2 totally different rosters, mind you, also. And like I think the Genesis one is about cloning and the clones, and that explains why you can fight multiple versions of yourself. And
because it's like you're in a space.
Yeah,
for the sake of
funny.
Yeah, it's if you want to laugh a little bit before hating yourself, then Tournament Fighters is for you. If not, then I would pass. But the third, I want to say the third Game Boy game is actually a pretty decent game. It's more of like a Metroid Light game where like you're going through. Michelangelo is trying to the other turtles got captured, and Michelangelo has to go find them, and then you kind of unlock the other turtles as you go along. It's kind of cool, actually. Still not the best, but it's better than the other two Game Boy games in the first NES game by far. So, but
for the Tournament Fighters, did you play? Was this your first time playing the Super Nintendo one, Corey?
I think I've played it before, but I mean, my knowledge of Tournament Fighter is so limited. I just knew that there were Turtles fighting games, and I had always wanted to play them. I think I played them before, and I don't know, maybe my memory is shot, or just like they're so bad it just pushed it out for me. But yeah, not great.
What's like the best game in that TMNT collection?
My favorite game in that collection is Hyperstone Heist for Genesis. It's basically Turtles in Time with a few extra levels, and there's a boss rush mode in the middle of the game, and it incorporates villains from the movie in it too, like Tatsu's in it, and Toko and Razor are in it, and yeah, it's super cool.
I like the box art.
Yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah, the box art's cool. I mean, it's essentially Turtles in Time. It's like a 1A 1B. And then obviously the arcade games are worth playing through as well. But those are like the four kind of main games that I would say are worth playing. It's a cool package though from a preservation standpoint, because they have really nice scans of all of the boxes, like all the box art and all the manuals and American and Japanese press releases for like NES games, which were super rare back then.
Oh, that's cool.
History of development. There's all kinds of cool things in that package that I am very impressed with Konami and Nickelodeon for putting this together, because I mean, we saw what Konami did with Symphony of the Night. Not that those games are bad, but they pretty much just put the games on a disc and said, hey, here you go, these games are I'm shocked they didn't just write out Castlevania in Helvetica font and send it out.
Oh, the Castlevania collection.
Yeah, no, the whatever the Symphony of the Night Rondo of Blood collection was.
Oh,
it came out a few years ago.
Yeah, but it never came to Switch though.
No,
that's what everybody wants.
But I mean, since then, I think Konami's packages have been pretty good. They've gotten increasingly better since then.
Yeah, and Digital Eclipse, they really did some fixes on the NES games, because some of them was glitchy and missing sprites at parts of size.
They're still
they
glitchy.
Went in and they fixed some things.
I mean, Digital Eclipse did a lot of work with a lot of the ROMs. Like, they fixed a lot of the ways that the games play, and they made them feel smoother and cleaner. But like when you play Turtles 2 on the NES, especially in that first stage, when you walk by the fire, your character still disappears before he reappears, and if any character gets close to the fire, their feet disappear. It's still one of those things, but like they do play a lot nicer than the NES games. They play like you want to remember them playing. I'll put it that way. But yeah, the highlights are definitely the two arcade games, and then the Turtles in Time and Hyperstone Heist. But that's what I've been playing.
Cool. Well, for me, I've finished Life is Strange, the remaster on Series X for Talk the Walk. Finished that up and playing. I'm almost done with Before the Storm DLC, so I'll be ready for that discussion. For Switch, played a little bit more of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, just doing a lot of side quests right here before I get to the final portion of the game. Like, I haven't started chapter 7 because that's the last one. I'm still in 6, but a lot of things have happened story-wise. I'm just like, oh, it's about to get good, but I need to hold back and I need to connect some stuff and do these side quests. I downloaded, I know everybody's gonna get me on this, but I downloaded the demo for Resident Evil Village. So, but I haven't played it yet. I want to see how it goes.
Someone's got to test it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I I need to download it to see how it goes because no one has talked about it. So I kind of just want to
I didn't know it was
get the
out.
feel of it. Yeah, it's a
The cloud
demo
version,
for
right?
the cloud version. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I want to test it out so I could give my thoughts on it and everything because I think it's sometimes fair to be like let me download the cloud demo, see if I get a feel for it and go from there because I actually like Control on Switch. I didn't buy the full game because I already beat it on at my Xbox One. But I enjoyed Control when it was a demo. I wish they didn't give it was a time or anything. But I'm like, Control kind of feels
Yeah.
good on Switch.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it another episode or something, Corey, but like the Control demo was good until like it wasn't. Like it was like you can play it. It's just like it's not.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want to play on the cloud a game like that. It just
Like I was actually having a good time with it. I was like, oh man, cloud gaming isn't really that bad. And then like it was just like, and then pixelated and died on me. And I'm like, oh well, there's the reason why nobody wants this. And also like the Kingdom Hearts games were not great. The cloud ones weren't great. Hitman was like okay, but pretty unresponsive actually. Like it was the delay on the responsiveness of the controls was pretty bad. But I'm interested to see what Resident Evil is like. Maybe.
Yes.
Let's see.
Oh, go ahead.
No, we'll see. So let us know.
Okay. And the last one I picked up Haiku, the robot. This is a Metroidvania style game where you are a robot. It's more melee based in a sense where you're swinging upwards with the sword. So you're making like a circle moon kind of a attack. You'll be able to jump, slide, and like dive past people or enemies while exploring the city that's made out of junk and that's being corrupted and everything. So you look like this little TV. Well, not this little TV. You're kind of like this little round space thing. Think of Kirby, but in a suit without a mouth. And then you're fighting like these electronical TVs that got these Halloween pumpkin, like how it's cut out with the triangles and stuff like that. They kind of got that look to it, and you're defeating bosses and enemies like that. So I don't know how long it is, but I kind of played just like an hour and a half of it over the weekend, and it's pretty good. It's good. I just got to play a little bit more of it and see where I could go from there and everything.
Yeah, it looks really cute. I'm watching a trailer now. It looks really. I like the art style a lot.
Yeah, and it's only $20, so it's probably gonna be. Hopefully, it's a 7 to 8 hour quest, maybe on your first playthrough. If I think if you beat it, you'll probably and go back over it again. I think because you know everything, you can probably beat it in less time than that and everything. So, pretty much that's what I'm playing. I'm trying to get through some of the games because I got to get ready for Nier Automata on Switch, Mario Rabbids Sparkles of Hope, Bayonetta. I haven't got Field Chronicles yet. Like all the Square stuff that's coming out, I haven't got it.
Oh my god!
I downloaded the demo.
So much.
I downloaded the demo of Field Chronicles. Like the thing is like I know a lot of people say it looks boring and stuff, but like to me that game looks really fun and interesting. I'm waiting on reviews and gameplay videos to come out because like I might get it, but it's like I need to see more type thing. But everything I've seen so far is like, man, this game is really like it speaks to me, I think. Yeah,
I still need to start that Harvestella demo.
Yeah, I was gonna say I downloaded that too, the Harvestella, but I haven't touched it.
I just downloaded the Star Ocean demo that came out for this new game on Series X. So, yeah, that's pretty much it that I've been doing. I think there's still some more demos that's supposed to be dropping. There's some more games. Reddit Silver Gun is probably up now because they said it was up because they took it down, but I have not brought it yet. So I think I'm gonna wait for that game, for it. And I do want to get the Monkey Island, get Return to Monkey Island. I've been hearing some really great stuff about that, so I'm probably gonna pick that up on Thursday and report on it for the next episode of Power Block, because I'm interested in hearing that. And I'm actually surprised that it came out this quick, because I know he was getting the creator was getting a lot of hate for it, like negative responses, and he was just like, that's why I don't want to show people like working stuff, because they didn't like the art style, and so he kind of went dark. But like, I think a couple of months later, the promotions and stuff started to go out. I don't know if he has said anything because the game is out and what the response has been, but I thought it was delayed to a little bit later on in the year. I didn't know it was coming out this quick and stuff. So I'm really interested in playing this game. They said that outside of the great art style, they said it's really funny. They said it'll make you laugh. So I'm really interested in playing it. And I didn't have a problem with the art style when they first showed it at the Nintendo Direct. I was just like, oh yeah, I want to play this because I love this art style that pop. And I heard great things about the Monkey Island series. So yeah. But everybody,
two things before we move on to news, Ed. I did get the Splatoon Pro controller.
Ooh, yes,
I love it. It's, oh my gosh,
cute.
It just makes me so happy that these are like the two Pro controllers that I own.
Oh, nice.
Like I have the normal boring ones, but like they're trash. They're not cool. They're not cute. They're not fun. No, these ones are the best. I also like the Splatoon one because like the back is actually like the clear black plastic with splats and just Splatoon graffiti all over it. It's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Super cool. I love it. I didn't buy it because it was Splatoon though. I bought it because it was navy blue and yellow, and it's like navy purple, I guess you would call it.
Yeah, I was about to say it doesn't look blue at all from here.
Yeah, it's definitely I like the color better than I thought it was. So I got that. And then another thing is I'm really jealous I'm not in Disneyland right now. Side tangent. But it involves video games, so stick with me here. Mickey, Goofy, and Donald are all wearing their Kingdom Hearts outfits for the Halloween festival in Disneyland right now.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So
I didn't know they did stuff like that.
Actually, I think Mickey is dressed up as Sora. Well, no, he wears the red outfit in Kingdom Hearts.
Either way, it's cool.
Yeah, either way.
They're like acknowledging it.
Yeah. Super cool. It was funny. There was a video going around where Donald and Goofy were like fighting each other. And Goofy threw his shield like Captain America. It was really funny.
And then Donald healed when I didn't need healing.
Yeah.
No one needs healing. Yeah.
Donald Duck is canonically the best mage in the Final Fantasy universe.
Wow. So
it's funny you mention that because never mind.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
In Disney Dreamlight Valley, I just like saved Donald, and he's in the town now. But he was like stuck in this like dark forest. So it's funny you say he's like the best mage because he's just in that game he's just normal Donald, so he has no powers. But I was like, why are you just stuck in this enchanted devil forest? You should be able to get out of here somehow. But yeah, that's it.
Oh, I love Kingdom Hearts.
All right, then now everybody, it's time for Femi News. And before we get into Femi News, Grayson, what was your thoughts about the Nintendo Direct?
Oh man, I thought it was really good. I thought it was really solid. My favorite thing was probably getting the Zelda sequel title on the date. Pikmin 4 was crazy for me because I was watching with my friend Brandon, the live stream, and it crashed on me during the Pikmin segment. And I didn't know Pikmin 4 had a trailer until like after the direct was over. So I saw the Pikmin 4 title in the day. I'm like, oh, they just said it's coming. I didn't see the trailer. So I was very confused. But then after I saw it, I'm very excited. And yeah, besides Pikmin and Zelda, there wasn't really like anything that I remember I'm super excited about. Fire Emblem looks cool. I'm just not like 100% sold yet.
You're not
But if I was like,
engaged?
I'm not engaged. No, I'm not engaged to it yet. I like Three Houses. So I'm just kind of like trying to, maybe I can see more gameplay, more story stuff to see if I'll be interested in it. It'll probably be something I'll play because I do like Fire Emblem, but I am like a new
No,
Fire Emblem fan. So.
Before you go, have you seen the meme picture of like a dragon
Toothpaste?
Isha? Someone did the engaged color of the main character's hair.
I did not see
like,
it.
I was just like, y'all been on it. This is hilarious. That his hair is going to be something for this Halloween or when the game come out. There's going to be a lot of videos of Fire Emblem Engaged just because of the red and blue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The direct was fine. It was good. Octopath Traveler 2 was a cool reveal too. I do love Octopath. I never finished it, but it is cool that game is getting a sequel. And it looks beautiful. Like watching that trailer, I'm like, this game looks like 3 times as better than the first Octopath Traveler. Some of like the detailed visuals of like the buildings and like the lighting effects and the battles and stuff. It looks really cool. So I'm definitely gonna play that one. I might not finish it, but I'm gonna play it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of farming games.
Yeah.
Too many farming games.
Am I the only person that's like disappointed that Koei Tecmo isn't developing this Fire Emblem? Because they did so good with Three Houses.
Oh yeah, I forgot. It's like it's intelligent systems now.
Yeah.
Right?
They're back to doing it.
Wait, so what was the last Fire Emblem game they?
The last game they did was Fates, and then they did 2 Paper Mario games in between.
Oh yeah, who did the Valencia, the Shadows of Valencia?
I forget who did Shadows of Valencia, but I mean they oversaw the project, but they didn't develop it directly.
Okay, I played that one a little bit. It didn't really grab me too much.
Yeah,
but yeah, Engage just has a weird title too. I don't like it. I don't like the name of it. It's it doesn't get me hyped for it.
I think it's because of the Dragon Ball fusion kind of thing, mixing.
Yeah, I get
together.
it. It's very Japanese when you think about it, like the way.
It also looks like it's less. It looks like it's less focused on like relationship building stuff and more like it's like
traditional Fire Emblem sort of, right? Like
traditional.
I've heard a lot of people say that.
Don't worry, everybody's gonna be like engaged. Same way that the Final Fantasy Strangers Paradise chaos.
I did see a pretty funny meme going around of the Engage phone with Fire Emblem on it. It was pretty funny. Remember that phone that they tried to sell with play games and stuff?
But yeah, it was like really bulky.
Yeah, it was awful. I played Tony Hawk on it at Babbage's one time. It was.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, they had test units there, and I was like, "Oh, cool, a phone that I can play games on finally." Because apparently I wanted that at one point, and then I was like, "Oh, I'll just stick to Tony Hawk 2 on the GBA because it's better."
What did you think of NSO and the offerings they're going to get?
I'm just like kind of lukewarm on NSO. Honestly, I'm not like. It's cool getting these Nintendo 64 announcements, but I know at the end of the day I'm not gonna play them. Like I'm not gonna play anything that's coming, and I'm subscribed to it for some reason. But I don't know. It's cool that they're coming. I just like don't care about it personally, honestly.
Were you shocked at the games that they were bringing, and then seeing 007 at the end?
No, I don't think I was shocked. I feel like they need to fill out that catalog. These are the games that a lot of people have been asking for. So it's kind of weird that they're releasing Mario Party 1, 2, and 3 after Superstars just came out. Because it's kind of like, well, we don't want to play that old version after having like this updated version. But it's cool.
Are they going to ship you a
catalog
glove?
Is really filled up now. With what?
Are they going to ship you a glove for that first Mario Party game?
Yeah, for your thumbs. Wow. Yeah, to me personally, like Nintendo 64 stuff, if they put like Game Boy Advance, GameCube era, that's the kind of stuff I would definitely go back to. Those are the games I played a lot. And I played a lot of Nintendo 64 games too. It just like I just don't have the time to play and sit down and play Pokemon Stadium and I'll play them for a few minutes maybe, but they're not anything that I'm gonna like sit down and complete,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know, Corey, you said you had a theory about the GameCube stuff.
I
Do you
do,
want to
but
speak on it for a little bit?
this is no. We're I'm not getting into that because we'll spend an hour and a half talking about it, and then I'll just cry at the end. So we're gonna talk about news now. Speaking of old games, Ed, we're gonna do news now. I didn't have a great transition. Konami is bringing back Suikoden 1 and 2 back with HD remasters on Switch next year. This story is from Nintendo Life, officially announced at Tokyo Game Show. Suikoden 1 and 2 are finally returning, and not just a simple port of both games, as they are both getting HD remaster treatment. Let's see. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunen Unification. A double pack of the first two games.
Goes right off the tongue.
Yeah, I know, right? First two games in the series will be coming to Switch in 2023, and they're confirmed for an English release. Released on the PlayStation in 1995 and 1998, respectively. The first two games are often considered two of the best JRPGs on the system. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of history here. All that stuff. These remasters bring updated backgrounds and illustrations. The series artist Junko Kawano returning to assist with the redone portrait. So they're going to have... there's a lot of side-by-side images in this story, and they all look like really, really great. Hand-drawn, hand-painted backgrounds, redone character sprites. This is cool. I never played these games. I don't know what your guys' history is with them, but I know a lot of people talk very highly of at least the first two games. And then you go on eBay and they're like $400,000.
Yeah, I played Suikoden 1 and 2. I used to own them. And so I enjoyed those, but I never understood the story of those games. I think it was so much about, definitely for the first one, about you getting your castle and adding 100 other more people to join you. But I didn't know, like, what are we fighting for? Like, I didn't really get any of the story. And some of the characters, they don't tell you on how to get for it. So, like, I did beat it, but it's been such a long time, and because I don't know, my memory for that game has kind of like faded away. I think I definitely am buying this for Switch, and I kind of want to go more into it and learning what the story is for this game. At the time when I bought it, it was because it was Konami, and Konami was my favorite developer and publisher. So I did buy 2. 2 was a little bit easier to get through. Once again, don't even know the story. I think it's because it's been so long that I just played them and I moved on, because I couldn't talk to nobody about Suikoden. No one had it for PlayStation in my area, so there was no way. I think if there was like more social media when that game came out, I think I probably would have had better conversations about that game with other people. But yeah, this one I'm definitely gonna get. I think it's gonna help me with my memory of the game. Be like, oh, okay, I remember that. But yeah, I remember playing both of these games and owning them.
Yeah, for me, I think I played, I don't know if it's 1 or 2, but I must have played one of these on an emulator or something back in the day, because I definitely remember trying it out. But like Ed said, it never really jived with me that much. I know they were known to be super ambitious with like a lot of playable characters and like really good music and just having like a lot going on. And I remember them being rated very well too. Like they're really, like renowned for like the best PlayStation games ever and stuff. What's interesting to me is that the spiritual successor, the Kickstarter Suikoden games. Yeah, that's coming out next year too, and the remaster. So that'll be interesting to see how conversations revolve around that, like whether people think the Kickstarter one is good, or if the remasters are better and the Kickstarter one ends up kind of getting like, forgotten about or something. So it'll be cool to see what people think. And I don't know if I'll pick it up. I don't know. I guess it depends on how long they are. I gotta check that out. I don't know if I can commit myself to like 2 long JRPGs
Right.
next year. So yeah, they look really good though. I'm excited.
Yeah, they look great. I mean, I don't know if I will get them. They look cool. I have too many other games that I haven't played that I want to play, and like I know these games are talked really highly of, but I'll wait and see what other people say about them before I jump in.
And I'm assuming this was the one that the rumor that everybody said it was going to be the game that was world loved. So everybody thought it was going to be Silent Hill remake, but this was the game that they chose to go with. Which
well, I mean they said the voice actor from this game was giving the presentation from the original games was giving the presentation, so it doesn't really, I mean, if you put 2 and 2 together, it kind of, All right, next story, guys. This one's about Yakuza. In recent years, Sega's Yakuza series has gone beyond the PlayStation, making its way across to the Xbox and PC. What are the chances of a Switch release then? Speaking to GameSpot, Ryu got a gosh, I butcher this guy's name every time. Gatoku studio head Masayoshi Yokoyama explains how the team is hesitant to port the series to Nintendo's hybrid system, as a family-friendly image could potentially clash with the underground feeling of the Yakuza series. Quote, do we want to put a title like this where we're going around and picking a fight with the world and doing all the Yakuza stuff on a Switch? We still kind of think of ourselves as people of the night world, right? We don't want to be like walking around the day with everybody else. Like for he says like a lot. Like for us, it kind of showing this kind of underground feeling. I think the underground kind of feeling is what we want to do. Although the Switch caters to a wide audience of players with its friendly image, it hasn't stopped franchises like Grand Theft Auto, Doom, Mortal Kombat, and plenty of other mature experiences to make their way across the Nintendo's hybrid systems. This isn't the first time the Yakuza team has knocked back the Switch either. Back in 2018, the series producer mentioned how the hybrid hardware was not, quote, the ideal platform, as players on this platform may be used to, quote, different game experiences. Yeah, I don't know if I like this excuse or not, considering all these other games are on here, but I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean, not that I don't know if I would play Yakuza on Switch at this point anyway. But what are your guys' feelings about this?
Yeah, I think this is like a really shitty excuse. Like,
yeah,
the games you mentioned, like there's such an audience for stuff like Resident Evil and Doom and Dark Souls and Witcher and stuff. It's crazy that like the Switch has had mature titles, and for me personally, I played some Yakuza games, but they're very long, and having them on the Switch would make me want to finish them.
Yeah,
like I want to play Yakuza Like a Dragon and a bunch of older Yakuza games, because I kind of want to get into the series more, and having them on the Switch would be awesome. And they're not that graphically intensive, so they should run fine. And
a PS3, 2,
and they're old. Games, yeah, a lot of them are just remasters and stuff, taking place in a small open world area.
And the thing about it is just like it's not that violent. It's a lot of
that too.
Like a lot of bit of like I can understand. Like I can understand if you're worried about the hostess clubs, but you don't really do anything in the hostess
Grand Theft Auto's on
either.
Switch.
I mean, obviously he hasn't just taken a look in the eShop recently either, with all these visual novels.
Right.
The waifu games.
Yeah. You got visual boob stuff on there. Just like it. I think it's just an excuse and I think there's still the burn from Yakuza 1 and 2 not selling well in Japan on Wii U. But everybody, Yakuza before Like a Dragon and Yakuza 6 came out, it was still very niche. It wasn't a big seller here in the States. Like nobody really was talking about the Yakuza series until 6 and Like a Dragon came out. And then when it came out to Xbox, that's when it's kind of started getting a little bit more more recognition, but still Xbox players wasn't playing it. So it's just like it didn't hit to at this point now where even with Judgment, that the series is popular. It literally took to the end of the 6th game for that series to get popular. So
I would argue the first game, when it got that remake for PS4, I think a lot of people were like, oh, well, this might be the time to jump in because they're remaking the first game. It's pretty, it's updated, all that kind of stuff. And then 2 got the full-on remake, 2, right? So, I mean, this is a series that I'm very interested in, and I just never know where to start now. You know, some people are like, oh, just start with Like a Dragon because it kind of is like a soft reboot, sort of. But then I'm like, well, 1 seems like a good place to start, but then some people are like, well, if you're going to start with 1, you might as well start with 0. And I'm like, well, no, that's not how they were made. So I don't know.
If you're going for a story to understand it, 0 would be the reason to play it because it sets everything up. Because when the original one came out for PS2, it felt like all the characters were already established, and they don't explain it to you or anything. Plus, Yakuza 1 on PS2 is the only game that have English voice acting. The rest of the games are all Japanese subtitles.
No, I think 7 is English voice acting. Yeah, they made a pretty big deal out of that. I
think most of them should have. Judgment has English voice acting too.
Yeah,
I thought it was all Japanese.
No, I think all the remakes and remasters have English voice acting.
Oh,
Maybe initially they didn't, but I'm pretty sure they all have English voice acting.
Oh, I just remember 1 only having it and everything. So. But I still find this excuse not worthy. But
this is a garbage excuse. Get out of here. Garbage.
Nintendo's publishing Bayonetta 2 or 3.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. So I think they just don't want to put it on Switch. I just be upfront and honest with this. Just be like.
I mean, it does cost them money to do that, right? And like, maybe they just don't want to say it, but maybe their investment, right? Maybe they're trying to sound edgy and cool, but maybe like the investment and the return on investment might not be worth it for them, you know? But I would rather them come out and say that than like, we're edgy, we're underground, Yakuza,
but
people of the night.
But then I wonder what happens if they did release Yakuza worldwide. Don't keep it in Japan. Do it worldwide for Switch. If it sells to a certain amount and it's a good port, then what is your excuse is? Because now you in the marketing got to figure out we said this excuse or this is our reason for not putting it out. Now we got to change that reason because we're shocked that it sold 2.5 million digitally on Switch across the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
then what you gonna say?
At this point, if they were to port one of them to Switch, I would actually probably start with Like a Dragon at this point, and then work your way backwards if Like a Dragon does well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And they could make buku money because that would really be the only series on Switch that's an open world game in the crime genre. Because there's not really, we don't have Sleeping Dogs. We don't have. We got Saints
sir.
Row.
The Grand Theft Auto remasters came out, and I hear they are just perfect to play. And I'm gonna make you a shirt. Side tangent. I'm gonna make you a shirt that just says "Buku Bucks" on it because you say that all the time.
Buku Bucks.
I'm gonna do it in a really cool font, like the Okami font.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
HD.
No, I usually say coins.
What? No, Buku Bucks HD.
Oh, get them just coins now.
All right.
Buku Bucks sounds better.
It does sound better. All right. Oh no, I accidentally closed the Sonic story. Oh well, we'll move on to the next one.
Oh my god, poor Sonic.
I know. Whatever, it's fine.
With the 30 frames per second for Frontier.
Nope. Disney.
Happened.
Disney's upcoming free-to-play Switch Racer reveals a new playable character. Not really a big news story here, but I'm excited for this game, so I put it in the news. Following a reveal at Disney's Video Game Showcase last weekend, Disney Speedstorm has now announced another playable racer on the way. This time around, it's the Mickey Mouse character Goofy, and he'll be joining the race after launch of the game. So Goofy's coming to Disney Speedstorm. Last week they announced the Monsters Inc. stuff would be coming, including Mike Sully, Randall, Cecilia, which is a weird one to add, and a new Monsters Inc. themed racetrack. I'm really excited for Disney Speedstorm for some reason.
GameLoft is developing this too. I know that.
This game supposedly is like cross-play, cross-save across all platforms and cross-progress. So I'm really wondering how they're going to do the characters, and like, are they going to give them new costumes with like a battle pass? Like, how's this working? You know,
it's free to play, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm sure there could be some like $40 founders pass or whatever, which is like,
right.
But you know, anyways, anybody excited for Disney Speedstorm like me?
Well,
thanks,
can't
guys.
say.
Well,
if it's free, I'll try it.
I think it's free to play.
Free.
It is free to play.
Oh yeah.
But
I mean, like, if there's no like, I guess when it launches, if it'll have like some weird founders pack or early access thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think I'll download it and play it to have a discussion about it, Corey, and go from there.
Yeah. Well, look,
maybe on Switch, so that's cool.
I'm just looking for a new Mario Kart replacement because I am like, as much as I love Mario Kart, I want a new Mario Kart, and there isn't a new Mario Kart, so.
Yeah.
And also the
you don't want remade tour tracks?
Those tracks. Let me tell you, man, those tracks are so underwhelming. It's not. It's like a joke. They teased me. They teased me so hard, and then they're like, "Nah."
I kind of wish we just got them all at once. At this point,
yeah, they're not. The tracks are very underwhelming. I think out of the how many waves are out now? 2. I think out of the 2 waves that are out now, like I think 2 tracks are great, and like a couple of them are good, and the rest of them are underwhelming. And most of the underwhelming ones are the Mario Kart Tour tracks, which
they just have a certain shine on them, like certain visual.
Yeah, it's like it's like they designed these tracks in like a and I know this isn't how game design works, so I already ruined the joke, but it's like they designed this track and they're like, file save as Mario Kart Tour track, and they're like, oh, we should put this in Mario Kart 8. Oh, okay. Save as horizontal window Mario Kart 8.
Switch.
Yeah.
There you go. Dot switch.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, we're moving on before I get even sadder about Mario Kart tracks. Sega, this one, I found the Sonic story again. So, like Ed mentioned, they are targeting 30 frames a second on Switch, which, well, boy, I'm kind of worried about that. Sega's Open Zone Sonic Frontiers is racing towards launch on November 8th, and now we've got a bit more context on boss battles and how Supersonic will factor into this game. And speaking with IGN, Sonic Frontiers director Morio Kishimoto stated that Supersonic will be mandatory in order to defeat certain bosses discovered within the open zones. Quote, normally in Sonic games, you'll encounter a boss and you'll fight them as regular Blue Sonic. In Sonic Frontiers, there will be bosses that Blue Sonic can't even scratch. But if he collects and uses all 7 Chaos Emeralds, he can become Supersonic and then battle those bosses. Becoming Supersonic will be the only way to fight them. Cool, I guess.
Fine. I mean, so like in past Sonic, like mainline Sonic games, you typically turn into Supersonic at the end, right? There's like a big cinematic cutscene, and there's like music playing and rock music and stuff. It's really cool.
Look, as long as I get a good guitar riff when I turn into Supersonic, right? Like it's.
I just hope it doesn't diminish whatever the final. If there's like a final boss fight, I hope you're not just turning into Supersonic again.
Yeah.
And you're just like something you've been doing before. It's like Ultimate Sonic or something.
Yeah.
It's going to get annoying real quick.
Look, is Sonic Frontiers going to have an end game? Like, is this going to be like a like you beat the game and they're like new zones open up? And you're like, oh no, Supersonic. Oh, okay.
I have a feeling that the reviews are going I feel like the reviewers are going to get the game next month or in a couple of weeks, and they're going to have the review out probably by the end of October.
Who knows?
What the scores are going to be, who knows?
It's going to be a mess. It's going to be wildly like different.
Because you got to put this review out, or it has to go before God of War a week ahead, or after God of War, or on the same day of God of War. Because everybody's going to be looking for that Sonic Frontier review, and they're not going to look so much for God of War. God of War could have like 9s across the board all day long, but everybody's going to be talking about Sonic Frontier.
So, side tangent with God of War, like I was like, okay, like this looks like more God of War, and then I watched the last State of trailer, and I was like, I think I'm ready to play more God of War.
That's a video game.
Yeah,
I saw that. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah, they had like they had the God of War 2 swinging mechanic with the Chaos Blades, and like, oh, man, it just reminded me
really
so
colorful.
Yeah,
it's just gonna be a high graphical Darksiders game.
What? Whoa,
dude! It's Darksiders.
Which,
no way.
Dude? All the Darksiders games are different, so you got to be more specific.
I mean, in this game,
I hope God of War is a twin stick shooter that is co-op.
I don't think there's gonna be anything besides the story jaw-dropping and awesome. Combat wise, I think it's gonna be bland and boring like the first one.
Yeah, I
don't think they're gonna introduce anything new.
I think
that's my concern for it.
I mean, to me, I really didn't. I like the first one. I don't think it's like as amazing as a lot of people say it is, but
yeah, same.
I do think the game gets better when you get the blades.
Pretty much, I stopped using the axe really when I got the blades.
Yeah, I did too. I only used the axe when I needed to. I didn't use it after I got the blades, like at all. So,
yeah.
But also,
and hopefully they don't have no custom crap in the game.
Also, I was playing God of War at a weird time because like I started it when right before my daughter was born, and then I took like 5 months off of it, and then I went back to it and finished it, and it was like a weird. I don't really feel like I got
the same experience as other people.
Yeah, it was just like a weird time, and then I was like, well, I'd rather play Horizon instead, so I played Horizon instead, and Aloy's my girl, so I gotta go that way.
No, I didn't write the God of War review for Boss Rush.
I predict that I think the Sonic Frontiers review embargo is going to be like the day of launch or the day before, because they're probably not going to want to. They're not going to want that to be out super early. God of War, the reviews will probably come out like November 1st or 2nd or something like that. Like Sony's usually pretty. They know their games are good, so they're gonna. They want those reviews out there so people can see them and buy the game. But Sonic, I think Sega might try to hide it.
I think what if they pull a Ubisoft and say you can't release your review 12 hours until the game after the game comes out?
What if they don't give anyone codes?
Yeah,
right. It just be like go buy.
You can't get bad reviews. There's no reviews.
Sega just sends out $50 Best Buy gift cards to all the people who are supposed to review the game.
Buy it.
Yeah. You still have to spend $10 or $20 depending on what platform you're playing it on. But yeah. Anyways, our last news story. This one will probably be quick. But Overwatch 2 showed off their new hero. Kiriko is Overwatch 2's new kunai-wielding support character. Let's see. Kiriko is the newest support character arriving with the launch of Overwatch 2 PvP on October 4th. She wields kunai, teleports through walls to allies, burst heals teammates with talismans, and can make nearby allies briefly invulnerable with her Protect Suzu move. And her ultimate summon is a fox spirit who rushes around and buffs friendlies that follow behind. Kiriko will be free for all Overwatch 1 players, or you can earn her by reaching tier 55 on the Battle Pass free track. Of course, you will instantly unlock the character alongside newcomers Sojourn and Junker Queen by purchasing the premium battle pass. Not only is Kuriko the first support character capable of keeping up with fast characters like Tracer and Genji, but the development team informed us her healing output should be similar to Moira and Mercy. Cool. I was into Overwatch for a while, and then I obviously just kind of fell off because the game is, how old is Overwatch now? 6 or 7 years old. I don't know. I'm curious about Overwatch 2, but I don't want to buy a battle pass to unlock a character, and I doubt I would play till level 55 in a battle pass.
That sounds like a lot of grinding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have no worries for the story.
I figured this would be a quick one.
But I've never played either.
Grayson, we need your boyfriend to give us opinions about this.
He's been playing Overwatch literally all day today too. I did see though that they put out an animated short story thing about her today.
Uh-huh.
And I saw some people on Twitter talking about how it's kind of it's not very, what's the word? It's kind of they don't have the culture down exactly. They keep trying to make diverse characters, not really giving them a proper story that's right to their background and things like that. So I don't know. Blizzard has been, doing a lot of stupid shit lately. So
yeah,
I'm just I hope, this character is handled well and, there's no other issues.
Yeah.
But the other future characters that they announced, because I feel sometimes they just want to make diverse characters for the point of diversity, and they don't really care. That's all I have to say.
No, I agree with you, and
yeah.
I feel like a lot of I feel like I don't want this to come off as mean or corny or anything, but I feel like a lot of games and developers do that now because it's something they can point to say, hey, look, we support you, it's kind of again, I don't know how, non-straight people feel about this, but when they it just feels like something that they can point to check a box, and I'm that I feel that's
it's when they retroactively make characters gay or something. I'm you just turn them gay,
yeah.
Pretty...
I was I'm not gay, but I don't think that's how that works.
Isn't that minority generator that Activision?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that. That was Blizzard too, where they had a minority checklist. It's for when making characters, they have to fit a certain criteria. Are they not white? Check. Are they not straight? Check. Are they? Yeah. So it's kind of gross. I've seen a lot of articles about why Overwatch need to treat its queer characters with respect and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
Overwatch 2. Let's see.
That seems like the wrong way to do that. No other opinions.
It shouldn't have to be that. It shouldn't have to be that difficult to create.
Right.
Diverse characters. You're not doing it right. If you need a
diversity,
a document.
Your diversity needs to be organic and not a random generator.
Right.
Or something. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
Gross.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's all the news. Sorry to end on that downer. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Well, everybody, it's time to get into Doc Mode. Reviews, guides, interviews, and more seem to bring interest and opinions to the gaming community. Nintendo games especially have this effect when people want to know as much as they want and see what they could benefit from it. For this Doc Mode discussion, we're discussing what it takes to bring game information to readers and viewers, and why it isn't easy work. You ready, Elite Black Agents? Let's go! And the reason I brought this topic is, Grayson, you are a guides writer. Guides, you're the editor. You do a lot of gameplay to write guides.
The guides writer, they say.
Yes.
The only one.
Me and Corey, as you know, we podcast and we write. We sometimes do discussions and reviews, especially Nintendo Expansion Pass, where we take different topics and discuss them to bring more than just our opinion to the readers and listeners. And it's not always easy to do that because, Grayson, with you doing a lot of guides, you got to play a game in my opinion, in a sense, all the way through and find every nook and cranny. Especially when there's like hard puzzles and stuff that you got to figure out how to solve. So, and you got to do one puzzle part, stop, write it down, going back and forth and everything, or maybe somehow stream it without letting the world see it, so that you can be able to go back and be like, okay, this is what I did. Let me write it down. This is how you solve it.
Right.
So I kind of want to ask you first, with you being the guides feature, what does it take, personally, or in a general sense, what do you think it takes to write a guide or make a guide?
Oh, that's a lot. I mean, so the first thing I always tell people is that you have to think about every single game as if not only if it's like the first game in the series someone has played, but if it's the first game someone's ever played in their lives. That's how I like to go into games coverage. So it's like you really have to think about what people are going to be looking up and that things are going to be having issues with. You have to find topics. You have to find things that the game might be bad at telling the player. You have to find things that might be misleading. And then, there's stuff like puzzles and whatnot. That's the more obvious guide stuff. But for example, like Splatoon 3, I had like a document set up, right, with guide topics that I wanted to cover. That guide document ended up being like 3 times as bigger as I wanted it to be because there were so many topics that were doing well that I did not expect to do well. Like there were people looking up how to find your locker, how to play table turf war, like how to just find it, how to play salmon run, how to change your hairstyle, how to change your name. People are looking up all this stuff and it brings in so much traffic. It's crazy. You wouldn't believe how many people look up like the most basic, how to save your game, things like that. So you have to really go into it with like the mindset of like, I am a baby and I've never played a game. What are people going to be looking up? And then you have the stuff that's always going to do well, like tier lists and like best characters and, best builds, the things that are like, gamers are going to be looking up. So it's hard, right? Because there's some games you don't know if people are going to be playing that much as other games. You don't know if it's going to be guide heavy or guide worthy. Like some games come out and I'm like, oh yeah, this game's gonna have tons of guide potential, and it's like nothing hits. And then you have stuff like Splatoon 3, it's like crazy numbers. I'm like, I thought that game wasn't gonna be, good for a bunch of guides, but turns out it is. Yeah. What else were you asking me? I forgot what I was even going there.
No, just like the work that you put into making a guide. Like what does it normally take for you to do it? Because I think people who's watching this, or people who are interested into making guides, they kind of don't know what all goes into it, of making a guide that's easier for people to read and use for their gameplay.
Yeah, and I think it also a bigger thing is also just making stuff as readable as possible. Because if you think about it, if you're Googling something and you find a guide and it's like the information's not where you think it's going to be, or there's like too much fluff in there, you kind of have to make it concise and make sure that people are getting their answer as quickly as possible. And SEO plays a big part in guide writing too, which is search engine optimization. That's pretty much a way that Google sort of chooses which articles to put at the top of your search. Like if you search up right now Splatoon 3, like how to do something, there's going to be a bunch of different websites that pop up, and based on the usefulness of that said article, that most useful one is going to show up first, obviously. So it's like my job to make sure that each guide that I write and edit is like SEO optimized to the best of as best as it can be, so it can pop up in Google and rank. And it's all about that rank these days. You want to be the first search result on Google, and it's not always easy to do that. Sometimes the Google algorithm will change often and put out updates like, this is what we want from articles now. They should be this way and not have these sort of things. And it's sort of learning what Google wants and writing guides based on that. And also, writing it for the reader. You want it to be as readable as possible, like I mentioned. there's a lot that goes into it. I have tons of screenshots on my Switch. I'm constantly recording gameplay footage. Like, it's a lot. Like, my guide brain is always turned on. That's why it's hard for me to enjoy games sometimes, like when I'm not writing about them, because like I'm just constantly thinking about guide potential. I'm like, oh, I should write this, or I should probably do this guide or something. It can kind of get annoying, but it's just part of the job, I guess. Yeah.
Corey, you're one of the hosts of Tower Casual, and with that podcast, you have to play a lot of Destiny because there's a lot of information that goes for different events, different missions, and how things are laid out, and you have to speak on it. Is it easier for you, or does it take a while to like gather that information so that you can be able to speak about it?
It's weird because the game updates every week, right? So like, but it actually, I think the way that seasonal content is set up now, like it actually makes it a lot easier to talk about because they release one major story mission a week, and I think it's easier because that means everybody who wants to pay attention to like the story or the events or the whatever kind of playlist they have that season, everybody's on the same page. Everybody can talk about it, and it makes it fun to talk about with a community, right? Like our Tower Casuals Discord, like there's just a story section in our Discord, and we're always talking about, what did this mean? What did this mean? What do you think's going to happen next week? And it's kind of cool. And like, it's funny because there's actually like a pretty big story moment that happened this week. And it's really fun because the cooler the story moment is of the week is, the more people are active in talking about it. But I think in terms of like, I would say, Greyson's job would be almost impossible for Destiny unless you had like a small army to talk about it, right? Because like, not only is the game updating every week, but the way the sandbox works changes all the time, and the meta of the weapons might be different the next week than it was the previous week, or this week is Iron Banner instead of Trials of Osiris, so like you got to talk about what armor is he selling, what's the god roll on the guns that are available this this week, and in like 2 weeks the Halloween event starts, so everybody's got to talk about their Gundam buying their Gundam armor pieces, and the Halloween event, which thank God is not the Haunted Forest this year, and that's just an ever-changing, ever-evolving world, to the point where like you go to Data or you go to Bife or you go to Fallout Plays to find out stuff because they put out 2 or 3 videos a week on what's changed, and imagine trying to write a guide like that. Paul Tassi also does a pretty good job over at Forbes on keeping up with Destiny and what changes are happening in the story and theories and stuff. And it's funny, I just found out Paul Tassi only lives about 2.5 hours away from me, which is hilarious.
Cool.
Not that I know him or anything, not that we're going to go hang out later, but it was just funny because I noticed that he lives pretty close.
Question, which if you ever just accidentally ran into him, do you think you'll ask him to podcast on the Tower Casual?
I mean, we actually tried to get him on, and it was a pretty bad time because A, he was reviewing The Witch Queen, and B, his kid was on the way. So, and then I, me being the awesome person I am, just never, got back to like checking on, seeing if he would come on or whatnot. But, I don't know. That game is just kind of impossible to keep up with, even on a week to week basis, let alone like trying to write guides and
I would say like it's like we cover all the live service stuff like Pokemon Go, and I help with Fortnite, but Destiny 2 has to be the hardest game I've ever. It's just like I have a group of people that are on the site that are Destiny fans, but they still can't get to all the guide content that that we can put out for it, and it's just like so hard to keep up with it. I never know what's going on.
Mhm.
I know when the new seasons are coming, but it's like me going to them like, okay, it's a new season. Can you guys just write stuff?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to do, but just write stuff.
And like,
And there's like God rolls and things I don't understand. I just edit stuff
Mhm.
and I read it. I'm just like, this sounds right. Publish. Okay.
yeah,
People are reading it, so it's good.
Yeah, and it's weird because like every season, like the meta changes, but also like you got to think about, oh, well, there's 3 different character types, you know, and each character type has 4 subclasses right now. They're about to get a 5th subclass, so that's 15 different characters theoretically that you have to like know the ins and outs of to write guides for, and like, you know, an exotic chess piece on this warlock. You know, the hunter might not have a chess piece that works the way that the warlock does, so you got to figure it out, you know, and that's very basic terms, right? You know, right now there's like a linear fusion rifle that everybody was freaking out because you could actually craft the god roll for the first time, and it's incredible, but also like that gun's just going to get nerfed next year because everybody has it now. So I don't know, that game is incredibly deep, and even as much as I know about Destiny, it's like I'm still relatively elementary in terms of knowledge on things in that game compared to a lot of other people.
Like I think about playing it just honestly for work's sake, just to have stuff to write about, but I know I would never be able to do a good job like they can, even if I play it every day. I just will never have that information from past Destiny stuff to even comprehend writing any guide about anything, unless it's like how to complete this quest or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I don't even know how to tell anybody to get into Destiny right now. Like I seriously don't know how to tell you how to get into Destiny, because like, you know, I'm not going to go tell you to play the first game, because I downloaded the first game and actually played a little bit of it just to, you know, I do that probably like once a year to revisit the first game and just revisit the areas and stuff. And like like going from 120 frames a second to 30, I thought I was going to throw up. It was so choppy.
I didn't know the first game was like had like live servers.
Yeah,
still. I thought it was like just Destiny 2.
You can play the whole game. You can play all the raids still. You can play all the only things that they don't have live servers for now is the competitive multiplayer stuff.
Like PV. Okay.
But you can still do all the raids. You can still find all the weapons and do all the missions and play with people if you can find them. It's still there. But then, like, you know, there's characters now that are involved in the story that, like, they took out the 2 kind of main campaigns that, well, I would argue the Red War campaign is not really, you know, worth bringing back, but Forsaken, like, they killed off a main character and brought in a new character into the story that are vital pieces of information that you just can't play now, you know, because of their content vaulting. And, you know, there's the Goliath rumor that they might bring all that stuff back in some capacity, and there's also a new rumor, which I don't know how much legs it has, but Paul Tassi brought it up in an article, how they're going to release Destiny 2 Year 1 as a standalone release, as like a, you know, you can play the old campaigns and all the old missions and stuff and kind of get up to speed on the story and carry your progress over to Destiny 2 proper.
Interesting.
You know, kind of like the World of Warcraft classic stuff that's going on right now. But, you know, it's that world is ever changing. They're bringing in new characters and new storylines all the time. Like right now, the whole season's themed around pirates and space pirates, and you know how there's 2 warring factions of this race that you're just kind of watching it unfold, and maybe the person on your side isn't exactly the person that you thought he was, and you know it's crazy. Pirate ships are cool though. Space pirate ships,
always cool.
Okay with me.
Oh. Well, definitely for me, I do a lot of reviews for Boss Rush. And of course, like playing it games on Xbox, playing games on uh, PlayStation, playing games on Nintendo, I kind of definitely have to come in the game with no bias. You know, people think that if I rate a Nintendo game, automatically just play five. People sometimes may think that if I play a Nintendo game for 15 minutes, it's a game of the year, and that's it. No, I have to play.
You need 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably 20 minutes. It depends on how long the cutscene is. But I have to play the full game. And sometimes I can do the side quests. Sometimes I just go through the main line game. And I have to go in being a blank state, you know, and I got to be able to give my opinion at the end on what I got out of the game, what I think of the game mechanics, you know, what are the problems that I have with this game, and then roll that up into a conclusion of telling you this is what I like, this is what I dislike. If one or the other, you know, meets your expectations, or this is what you've been looking for, you may want to skip this game or wait for a sale, or you want to avoid it, you can, or definitely you need to get this game. I did the review for The Last of Us Part 2, and I gave it a really good rating because I wasn't into not saying I wasn't into the hype, but I wasn't into the discourse of the negativity that people were giving this game. I went into it giving it a fair shot. And there are a lot of things that I do love about that game, but I have a problem with the length, like I mentioned, that sometimes games are getting dragged out too long. And sometimes when that happens, that can affect a review, because it's just like we get the point, but you should have just ended this a long time ago and everything. I don't have nothing against Naughty Dog or Sony or any of Sony's companies. It's about the product and complete. When I play it, I'm going to tell what I love about it, what I dislike about it, and I'm going to give it a fair thing. And I think a lot of people are just still on this mindset of a game review should just really give you a score and barely any kind of information, in a sense, because if you're going to skip everything that a reviewer is writing just to see the score and then go see what it says on Metacritic, you're not doing justice to yourself as a reader or a listener about that new game that comes out. And for a lot of the games that come out, I purchased. I'm not. None of the companies support. None of the companies send me their games. I buy it on that day, and my focus for a week or two is to get that. Now, you'll have a lot of professional reviews out there because they got the game early, or they're working on it, seeing what happens when patches come into play and things of that nature. There are a lot of times that when I get a game and I'm going to do the review, I really have to go in because for a Nintendo game, doing a review for a Nintendo game, it's not the same as doing it on Xbox and PlayStation and stuff. Because if the Nintendo game is kind of, you know, was developed last, or it comes out later than what some of the other third-party games may come out, there's going to be some differences, and there may be more problems that you could address in that Nintendo version than you can do for the other consoles. So, and I have to go in that mindset. I'm still waiting for Dying Light 2 to come out for Switch, and I know that's going to be cloud, but I want to get that game and I want to play it so I could give my, not only the comparison, but give my opinion about it. Be like, okay, if you haven't played it on Xbox or PlayStation, this is the review for Nintendo. Does it hold up like the other ones? I need to do that. I need to give out that information and everything, because one review doesn't always justify all the reviews that come out for a system. You know, Cyberpunk is a really big thing because a lot of people reviewed it on PC. There was no console reviews until after the game came out. Mm-hmm. So you kind of want to be fair to deliver that information to your reviewers. And it's not always easy because everybody's probably playing a game that they love and that they enjoy. And you probably got to focus on a product that you may not like or anything, you know, especially when not everybody is looking forward to that game, but you want to do it with some justice and everything. I did the Saints Row review, and yes, I gave it an average score because I didn't feel like there was nothing that was offered. It's not a bad game. It's not badly made or anything. I played the patch version of Series X. You know, I will say I looked at the Digital Foundry to, go through all the recommended ways to to play it, and I went with one of them. They were right, and I enjoyed the game that way. But I had to pinpoint some stuff to be like, I'm not hating it like everybody else is hating it and stuff, or judging it on that manner. I have to judge it on my own manner and give it a fair trial. And I end up enjoying it. Yes, they didn't add nothing new, but maybe if they do another Saints Row, they'll probably learn to be like, what can we give to improve this game? Last but not least, first party versus third party versus indie. Those reviews are always going to be different because with first party games, you're really looking forward to the quality of it and if it holds up. Like, you're not going to really have that many bugs. You're not going to really have that many technical issues because they could delay it and do what they need to do, spend time, spend money to make sure that it comes out right. With some third-party games, they may delay it and it could still come out and be a buggy mess and not get a patch for it maybe down the road. And by that time, people have probably moved on with the game. With indies, depending on what kind of genre it is and how long that game be, you could probably write a review for that within a weekend or finish the game within 3 to 4 days. And it may not be long as a AAA or AA game, So for me personally, I have to take that into account with that. I will say, if you're going to do a review and you give yourself a date, the level of commitment is going to vary. Because if you don't have kids or anything, and you don't really have any extra activities and stuff, you could probably give yourself a committed date and go in and be able to write it. Make sure you take your notes and take your videos and everything. But if you have kids and stuff and you're trying to do a 40-hour JRPG and you got to do that in a week and a half, that's not going to work at all. Because if anything happens to your kids or something comes up, you may not be able to focus on that game. Like, how are you going to be able to do your day stuff? And if your stuff got to be done at night for gaming, you don't want to be falling back. I'm going to play this RPG for 3 hours, see if I can make progress. And by the 15-minute mark, you dead on the couch with a controller in your hand, getting beat by Sephiroth or something. And then you wake up and it's a game over screen. And now you lost all that time. So just be aware, viewers and stuff, that reviews kind of vary from people. When they say that whoever you trust as a reviewer, really read their work and everything. And if you're going to write a review, be ready for criticism. You're going to get criticized. You're going to get opinions that are going to say some disgusting things, but there's going to also be some stuff that's going to be positive for you. And wherever you take it into the account, just be mindful, be professional about it. Just be like, thank you for your opinion. If you feel like it's gone too far, we got Twitter where you can block folks, or you could, like, even YouTube and stuff. If you do it, you could turn off comments. Or, YouTube have it. This is the only people that can respond to it. Yes, you can't do that on big metro sites or anything, but expect that there is going to be some good. There's going to be some bad, and know that the bad shouldn't outweigh the good. make sure that if you're going to read bad reviews, make sure they actually played the game. Because if they didn't play it, their opinion does not matter. They can't say your review sucked and not give you details on why they don't agree with you. Because if there's a review that agrees with everything that you are saying, or if there is a negative review that disagree with some parts of the game because they played it and say something, take that into account. And if it's not me, just know that, okay, that's cool. They disagree with me. Hopefully they enjoyed the game for what it is. And if they enjoyed the thing that I didn't like, that should be cool. You know. So, I think
games.
that's going to be... Oh, yes. I think that's going to be it for Docmo. Corey, do we have any questions for Question Block?
No, because I didn't ask for them, and I didn't ask for them.
Okay. Well, everybody, that's going to be it for Nintendo Power Block. Greysun, thank you for joining us in this episode, giving us your impressions of Splatoon 3. Where can people find you?
Yeah, and thanks for having me. I always love coming on the show. So, yeah, you guys can find me on Twitter at Greysun Morales, just my first name, last name, GreysunMorales. And you can find my work over at GameRant.com to see all those guides that I was talking about. Recently been doing Splatoon and Dreamlight Valley stuff, so we have a lot of really good guides there now for anyone playing those. So yeah, that's me.
Yes. And do you guys have any coverage of Tokyo Game Show on GameSpring?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's always a bunch of news going on at Game Rant, so if you ever want news or features or anything, yeah, just check it out there. I'm not writing news, but someone is.
Corey, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at IamCoreyInHD. You can find me on the Boss Rush Podcast, Standard Definition, Tower Casuals, and various other things on the Boss Rush Network.
Yes. And you guys can find me on Twitter at ThatVetriCode and on Instagram at ThatVetriCode. You can check me out in the Discord and more of the content of Boss Rush Network on bossrush.net. And our YouTube page, Boss Rush Network, where you catch shows like Talk the Walk, Crossroads.
Firewatch is up for free right now.
Yes. So. Standard Definition, me, Corey Lamont. We just talked about the Ninja Turtles, TMNT. They showed me the musical, Out of Your Shell. And Corey, I had to stop it after the 30-minute mark.
I'm telling you, man.
I was just like,
wasn't it something special?
It's questionable content to the nth degree.
No, it's special. It's
like they just got done with the song, and then Splinter started singing the song, and I was just like, what is this nightmare?
Greysun, have you had the pleasure of watching the Out of Our Shells Ninja Turtles music tour?
I don't think so. For some reason, I feel like I've heard of it. But
oh man, you should watch it on YouTube. If you have a cassette
Coming out
player,
of their shells?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
If you have a cassette player, I can make you a copy and send it to you.
You know, I don't have one of those.
It's more of a visual experience though, so you should look it up on YouTube and watch it.
My mouth was agape from the recording, so you guys will be able to check that out soon or at a later date. But yeah, and also check out Ranking Nintendo. We just covered GameCube and DS, so when those episodes drop, you'll be interested, and you can get those episodes early by becoming a Patreon supporter. That's $1 or $5 if you want to be a producer. You can go to bossrush.net and look at our Patreon tab and go there to find out how you can become a Patreon for Boss Rush. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we will see you next time on Nintendo Power Block. Bye, everybody. Woo-hoo!
Goodbye.
Bye.